Okay, let me do that again, guys. I got it. Ready? 3, 2. Count me in again, Putty.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy here, Rivaderchi, coming back from the slums of the Echo Room. And listen, guys, today we're talking about next generation consoles because we know every single piece of information. Like, I literally talked to a guy and he told me everything. The guy was myself in the mirror, but it still counts, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have expert analyst, and he actually works at PlayStation to know what's happening. Let's give it up for CEO of PlayStation, Christopher Puttersworth.
Welcome,
hello.
Chris.
Yes, hello. I am the CEO of PlayStation 17. But you guys are not aware of this. It does go. It is a time traveling device, but I've said too much.
And we're also here with the analyst from PlayStation, Yanni Baconson.
Also, I'm a janitor on my free time.
Okay, guys.
At Sony, by the way.
Everyone knows already. PlayStation 5 got leaked. All the specs got leaked. It's gonna have SSD instead of HDD hard drive or HD hard drive, which basically means that the hard drive is gonna be like insane. It's gonna be completely crazy. It's gonna be so fast. Loading everything loading is gonna get cut down by 90%. So it's just gonna make the system really fast. Apparently, it's supposed to have a beefed up video card. It's supposed to have an amazing processor. It's just going to be a crazy system. So we know that already. And apparently, people from Xbox, there's leaks coming over at Xbox, and they're saying that their system's going to be better, and that their system's going to be it will 100%. But the difference is PlayStation system is going to be affordable. Because if you look at what happened with Xbox One X, it was not affordable.
Yeah, like the Scorpio was like impossible to afford.
Exactly.
And that factor in the fact that like I wouldn't say I'm Xbox, but like in the later generations I was more pro Xbox. But PlayStation has all the better exclusive games. Like, what's exclusive that's good on Xbox except Forza? Like, I don't like Halo, and I don't like Gears of War, so you're not getting me with either one of those games.
They have good companies. They have they have a company that made that game. What's it called? Like that Sunshine, whatever the fuck game. I forget what it's called. It's basically like a Infamous. It's like their version of Infamous.
Jet Grind Radio game.
Yeah, it's it's like their version of Infamous basically. But they have good games that they could get on. But right now it's Forza, obviously Halo, and whatever.
Gears of War.
If they're PlayStation can't make a good racing game to save their life at this point.
Well, PlayStation did have one good racing game that
Gran Turismo.
No,
yeah, in 1995.
Not Gran Turismo. They had Project Cars, and
which wasn't very good.
It was.
You're talking about Project Gotham Racing?
No.
No, we're talking about Project Cars.
Literally, Project Gotham Racing.
I have no idea of Project Cars, unfortunately.
Oh. It's okay. Don't worry. I know everything about PlayStation ever.
I have Project Gotham.
Okay,
anyway, okay. Thanks for telling us that.
I love how you guys are talking about next generation of of Sony and Microsoft, but what about the Switch U? I mean, they made the Wii, they made the Wii U.
I literally will throw this microphone at you.
First of all, if we're talking about next generation, the Switch literally just came out 2 years ago. The PlayStation's been out for 6 years almost.
Yeah, so... well, that's the joke because you got to remember Nintendo tends to always make different names until they decided to go with Wii and then Wii U. So I thought maybe the next generation would be Switch U, just to say the same benefits of what it did last season. But that's a dumb idea either way. I just made it funny. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, the code name by Nintendo, because you remember when Wii came out and it was like really popular and it was like pretty cool and new, and then they made Wii U and it sucked. So the Switch, they call it the Switch, and they're like to hide that it's going to be called the Switch U, they're calling it the fuck you right now. That's all it does to you. You pay money and they fuck you.
Okay, well, I'll be honest right now. The Switch is a really cool system, but like I don't even think it's really like the next generation is going to be a way advanced. Because look, if you look at the specs on the Switch right now, they're not even as good as the PS4 and the Xbox One. And the Xbox, the PS5 and the next Xbox, whatever they're calling it, are supposed to be like out of this world powerful. So the fact that the Switch is going to be there, because you have to understand, Switch just came out. They're not planning on making it. Nintendo's not going to make a new system probably until like 2023. So
yeah, but you also got to keep in mind that Nintendo never, ever, ever was one of those things that was trying to be a better console than the other ones.
Yeah, it was.
Outside of N64, but after N64, once the PlayStation came out, Nintendo was more like, we're all about gaming, we're not all about entertainment.
No,
Because
that's not what they're about. No, Nintendo's always trying to be innovative. That's what they've always tried to be
right,
different than them.
but
Because
they
they can't be as powerful, so they have
Okay,
good
well,
titles.
hold
That's
on.
it.
Back this up. Back that up. Except for the fact that Bill Gates is the richest person in the world and Microsoft is one of the biggest companies and can easily buy PlayStation and Nintendo. Nintendo has such an infinite supply of money. If a company like PlayStation can afford to make that system, Nintendo could make one 10 times as good.
That's not what I'm
Nintendo
saying. That's
Nintendo
not
could
what I'm.
survive losing $100 million a year
All right,
for like the next 30
Let me
years
finish what I
just
was
because of the
saying.
IPs that they own. But hold on. Nintendo, yeah, innovation. I get what you're saying, but Nintendo's about sales, and what they bring to the table is a completely different product. You cannot take your fucking 12 million gig PlayStation for a walk with you.
Okay, let me
You
finish
can't
what I
bring-
was saying, man, because you literally cut me off, and if I got to finish what I was saying, then you'd understand what I was saying. Nintendo doesn't give a fuck about making a powerful system. They care about being innovative, because and that just goes to show you they don't even care about their own IPs. Instead of caring about making a game they make Zelda look way better. They can make Odyssey look better and bigger if they had a more powerful system. They don't care about that. They want a system that's portable or a controller that you could fucking wave in the air like a nunchuck.
Yeah,
right.
but the innovation is there. I get it. I'm not saying that they're not innovative and that's not what they do well. The point is that their goal, like the capabilities that the Switch has for what it is, are amazing. Like the graphic output it could do for what it is really good. The thing is, their goal was not to build you a system. You can't carry your PlayStation. Yes, it has the best graphics. Yes, it's so amazing, but you can't take that with you.
Yeah, but guess what I
Nintendo
can do?
had told you anything that your system can do when it's plugged in, you can pick it up and walk with it, and it's going to do the exact same thing.
I'm gonna explain this. The Fortnite is a really good game to bring up for this comparison. Okay, right now when you play Fortnite on your mobile device, you're playing with people on the Nintendo Switch, and the reason they did that is because they're both the exact same when it comes to how much frames you can get, how the game runs. My cell phone, I'm playing with people on the
Yes,
Nintendo
but
Switch.
you don't have the power of a Nintendo Switch on your cell
Yes,
phone.
you do. That's
You
my whole
don't.
point. I have 6 GB of RAM right now on my Note 8. That's more than I have on my Nintendo Switch.
Well, you know what your cell phone doesn't have? The rights to fucking Zelda and Super
Well,
Mario.
okay,
You're
that's
right.
kind of, but that's where I want to chime in about what I'm talking about. Here's the thing, okay? I'm not doubting anything when you guys both have brought up the innovation thing. When I was saying that their focus is their whole innovation has always been something they've always been doing ever since the beginning. You know, what I mean, when they went from Atari's trying to make joysticks out into an analog pad. You know, what I mean, when they made the D-pad. But my whole point to the whole thing is one thing that sells consoles, and they know this, it sells their consoles, is their IPs. That's why they state, and they've stated it even before at E3 several times. We are not about entertainment as a whole when it comes to our consoles. We're about making gaming for gamers that like those type of games on our IPs.
Yeah,
They
but that's my whole point, buddy. Is if they were to put more power into their systems to make them more powerful, we could have a way bigger Odyssey.
but that's my
Or
whole point. They don't care.
Yeah,
The
you
thing
don't
is,
need that.
yeah,
yeah,
you're
they
right.
don't
They
need
don't
that
care.
because their
You're
IPs are
proving
so
my
strong.
point. They literally
Listen,
do not care about making better games.
Super Mario doesn't need to be 4K amazing graphics.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be realistic either. It's a cartoon character. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not even talking about graphics. I'm talking about the size of the actual
But
game.
look at Zelda. Zelda's game is insanely
Yeah,
huge,
but
and the graphics are amazing. And it
Zelda
won
has a
Game of the
bunch
Year.
of bugs. Zelda is not a perfect game when it
It
comes
won
down
Game
to
of the Year.
Yeah, it did for story, 100%. It's a great game. I haven't even played it, and I know
But
that.
if bugs were a factor, if it
All right,
had
look,
if it had bad enough bugs, look at Fallout. Fallout's one of the most beloved games ever. It came out, it had bugs. No one's playing Fallout.
Yeah, you're absolutely right because they made a wrong decision, and guess what? Nintendo's dodged so many bullets in their lifespan of being a console developer. Look how many bullets they've dodged. They
But
had a
see,
game, they had a console that literally they tried to revolutionize the discs. They tried to make new discs. It didn't work.
That was the
right,
stupidest thing they ever
that's
did.
the hardware side. When it comes to software, as far as their IPs and
You're
their
right.
games,
Nobody's doubting that. Don't even bring it up. Everyone knows that already. That's not
but
my
you,
point.
but
My point
that's,
is
but
they're
that's what I'm
dodging
saying.
bullets left, right, and center as a
But
company.
you said that the game was broken. The game of Zelda isn't broken. It's the console that was broken in that way. The game itself, that's the reason why it won Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Not
but why
because
is the
game is
game
broken.
broken, Putty? It's because the system can't handle it.
Well,
That's
it's a
why
first
it's broken.
generation system. Look what happened. Xbox had the right light district. You know what I mean? Like
No, I'm not. I'm
systems,
not. Listen,
it
I'm not saying. I'm not saying Nintendo's bad or anything. I'm just saying that Nintendo definitely has dodged a lot of bullets, and in my opinion, they should definitely put a little bit more time in making their consoles more powerful, so that things like that don't happen.
okay.
It happens
Sorry.
with everyone, like you said. Fallout is a piece of shit game, and it's broken. Fallout 76. I get that,
Yeah.
but you know, um,
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it. The reason Nintendo is going to have more flaws in their system is because going back to what you guys already said, they're always going to go about innovation. So they're not going to go about a console with a controller that has a regular hard drive and a disk drive that's like a computer. For them, it's always going to be like, ooh, how can we make it to where there's motion control on this portable gaming that it can be used like a tablet with a touchscreen, so on and so forth. Things that Sony and Microsoft don't give a shit about. They're
that's
not making.
why. But that's my whole point. That's why I don't think when next generation comes out that Nintendo has made the wrong decision. That's my whole point. By making the system so weak that this gen beats it, when next gen comes out, it's going to be completely different. I get they don't care about that 100%, but I mean, they're literally just going to be. They have only been selling units for their IPs. That's it. You know what I mean? With
Right.
PlayStation and Xbox, I don't even feel like we should ever even compare Nintendo to in a new console war
Right.
anymore.
Well,
Because at the end of the day, the console war that we have are the arguments that we have is always which system is stronger and better. Nintendo is not ever going to be on that list again.
Well, see, the thing is, that's the thing. There's a difference in my eyes when it comes to stronger and then the term better. I think the term better depends on how you look at it. Like, for example, I like the idea. I want to switch. I don't own a Switch, but I want to switch because, yes, I would love to have my Fortnite on there. And I would love when I'm going out and looking for work to be able to pull out my Switch and just start playing a little bit of Fortnite.
Well, you could do that on your
Xbox.
cell phone. I don't get it.
Right, but that's the thing. Yeah, you can do that on your cell phone. But with your cell phone, you don't actually have a literal controller in your hand. That your
You
cell phone you're
could.
using touch. I mean, you can, yeah, but that's my whole point. Yes, you can. But at the same time, I could also switch to Fortnite and go over play Mario Odyssey and those Zeldas. They're IPs, of course. But when I also have Fortnite and their IPs on one system, and then I can also watch Netflix and Hulu, yeah, I could do that with a phone. Yeah, I could do that with all that with a phone. I'm not protesting
All you
that.
really have to say in this situation is when I go on the bus, I want to play Odyssey. Like, don't bring up Fortnite.
Okay.
Don't bring up
Well, no,
anything.
no. I
Just
say
go on
I
your
say
phone.
Hold on, wait.
because it's a bonus to it. For example, if me and my buddies like the Switch does, and they even showed in their commercials. If I go to my friend's house and I bring my Switch, I can actually dock the Switch right there in front of them, or not even dock it, but pull up the kickstand, and me and him can play a little bit of a Mario Kart together with the two controllers on the side because they turn and become controllers of their own. Little things like that are what make Nintendo stay alive. And of course, it may not make it graphically powerful, but they do that so they can keep the prices down. So parents will be like, "Oh, I'd rather pay for the cheaper console, so I'll buy that for my kids."
But
And then
that's
of
the
course,
thing. Nintendo is not the cheaper console. It's not.
Okay,
Nintendo's
but
more expensive than a PlayStation Pro, so it's
hold on.
not cheaper.
Just listen for a second. If I'm a parent, on Putty's note, I'm buying my kid a Nintendo because I've seen PlayStation, and PlayStation is cancer, and Xbox is just as bad, except with less little kids. So I'm not trying to give my kid any of those systems for that reason. Two, I don't care that it's portable. I don't want it to be portable. I kind of agree with you in the sense that I would rather have the I would rather have a more powerful console that I could just keep at home forever. Like,
Yeah.
I would never play. I don't even own a game on my phone. I have no desire to sit on a bus and play a game or sit somewhere and play a game. I would not even touch it. I take my DS with me everywhere. I fucking love my DS. I never play it. The only time I ever use it is when I'm sitting at home.
Right.
So it's like the next step for Nintendo for me, going like whatever it could be, it's gonna be a super extremely high powered Nintendo 3DS. It's gonna stop being a home console completely, and it's just gonna become a 3DS that has a cord in it that could plug into your TV when you're at home.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a docked console like how it is now.
If we're talking about Nintendo's next generation console, which this episode's about, it's at the end of the day they could literally just sell a dildo that's called Nintendo that runs Zelda and Mario, and it's gonna sell.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what their console is, and I
agree.
get that.
It's the IPs that sell, but this is my thing too on that. It doesn't really matter what they do with it. Like, they're building really, really quality games out of nothing, and that's fine. And it's not even an argument. It shouldn't be, oh, PlayStation is better, Xbox is better. Nintendo is not that. Nintendo is Nintendo. Nintendo invented like mainstream video gaming. They gave us all the basis of all the games that are built
Yeah,
now
but
are based
again,
on
like,
Nintendo games.
okay, the conversation we're having
Castlevania,
is about next generation
Metroid.
console, though. You
But
know
I'm
what I
saying
mean?
I get where we're going, but like for next generation, Nintendo is not trying to keep up with PlayStation. They're selling their own thing. They just let them do them. PlayStation, I never even heard of PlayStation 5, so the fact that you're telling me this now is all news to me. And Xbox literally just came out with the Scorpio last fucking winter, so it's like I don't even
Yeah,
understand.
the guy Matt Cerny or Mark Cerny, whatever his name is, the guy that develops the PlayStation, designs it, had an interview and he said all the specs about the system, and it's supposed to have SSD, which is solid state drive,
Yeah.
which is not it's the new technology of hard drives, which everything loads instantly. Like he was saying that Spider-Man, we used to take like 19 seconds to load on PS4, and on the dev kits of the PS5, it took like a millisecond. So it's like the loading times are going to get. So that's what PS5 is going to have in it. It's going to have SSD. It's going to be 8K compatible, not even 4K, 8K.
It's I believe it. The biggest issue I have now with PlayStation, okay, one of the biggest things that they preached to us before PlayStation 4 came out is that loading times are going to be greatly reduced. So I know worlds are huge, like Spider-Man. I get it. The world is huge. I understand it has to load. But when I'm playing Fortnite and at the beginning of the game, it takes like 3 minutes before I even get to the press start menu, like that, it's just getting borderline ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's because
times.
Fortnite is like a server, but it's like an EA game. It's not like Spider-Man or GTA. Those games actually have to load a map. Fortnite's not like that. It's all like server. You're connected to the
I get it,
Rockstar.
but even like there shouldn't be any loading. It should be like boom, I click it, I'm in. There's no graphics there.
You're talking about a console that was made 6 years ago when SSDs weren't even invented yet.
I know, but that was one of the things they preach, and I don't know if you remember that, but that was a big thing. That was like their thing. Their big turning point. It's not gonna have to load.
PS3 to PS4 was actually a big change, whether you believe it or not. I've heard you say it before, where you don't think that it was a big upgrade.
I feel like it was a big enough upgrade, but like I think the loading times got longer from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4.
Well, games got bigger. Maybe that could be true.
All I have to say is Uncharted. Like I just want some more Uncharted.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that PlayStation has to bring to the table when it comes to PlayStation versus Xbox. Like, yeah, we shouldn't even count Nintendo in this conversation because there
shouldn't be a verse. It should be buy all of them, play all of them.
But if I'm a guy who only has enough money to buy one console next generation, I'm gonna go with the PlayStation 1,000%. Not just for the IP, but for the fact that I know what I'm getting.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go PlayStation because the PlayStation is a more immediate buy for me over a Nintendo system because I don't need the Nintendo system desperately, though I want one. And everyone I know is gonna have a PlayStation. So what's the point of buying an Xbox right away? I might as well wait till Xbox gets dirt cheap and then buy one. Yeah. Like I literally right now, when I have obviously friends on my friends list on Xbox, but of like close people that we know or like hang out with, there's only like 3 people that have an Xbox that we know, and I have like 220 friends.
Yeah, not to mention that me and my other buddy, a couple Christmases ago, went and bought the Xbox One S and literally have not even used it to play video games.
He told me he only used his once. You could he'll let us know.
I don't use mine to play video games. I use it literally just to watch 4K movies.
That's what it's for. That's basically the upgrade you get out of that is that you can watch 4K.
Well, I guess I'll chime in on this because I've always been one of those people that I wait until because a month before the release of games, there's a lot of information that goes out, especially the E3 prior to the games being released. There's a lot of information that goes out. And when it came to the bandwagon, like if we were to go on the road just based on Xbox and based on Microsoft and Sony, my whole road was I bought a PlayStation, the Nintendo 64 and then a PlayStation. But as far as Sony and Microsoft, I bought a PlayStation 2, and then bought an Xbox. At that point, I loved my original Xbox. I even liked it a little bit better than my PS2 only because it had the hard drive, and it also had the where I can play music during games. It added a lot of things, and I got to play online with Halo and all that, Halo 2. So what ended up happening was when PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, I was looking at what was going to fit me best. The reason, and then I ended up choosing Xbox over Sony at that point. The reason I did was because Microsoft offered me one thing. It offered me the online gaming that I had just got started used to with Halo 2 and all that, and the friends list and all that, and the party chat, which of course Sony kind of goofed up on that when it came to the thing. Now, they had a lot of problems with 360 when it first came out. They had the red ring of death, things of that nature. But then at the same point, when PS4 and Xbox One were announced, I was like, okay, I'm going to look at both. And when I looked at both, PS4 won hands down in my eyes. I was like, this is a superior console. They've learned their fuck ups from PS3 to PS4, way better console. They epically did great on that. And I honestly think PS5 is gonna do better than the next Xbox console, but I'm still gonna do the same thing I've always done. I'm gonna look at the consoles and see which one is going to better make me go, okay, I have to spend money. Which one is gonna have the IPs I want? Which one is gonna have the everything I want as far as online? Like, for example, if Microsoft is going to offer me things that for live streaming and recording that Sony is not going to offer me, then that might actually pull me over to Microsoft because it's going to give me better opportunities as far as that. But I honestly am not going to say 100% right now. It's PlayStation 5 hands down. Because it's got a better push for me. It's definitely going to be at 85 to 90% for me over Microsoft. But at the same point, Microsoft might do something that makes me go, oh shit, I hate saying it, I'm moving back over there. And eventually I'll get the PS5 console and everything, and then maybe I'll be wrong and I'll go back. But I even did the Xbox One, like you said yourself, Nikki, that I actually went and got the Xbox One, had it for a month, barely played it a couple weekends here and there, but I always came back to the PS4. And that's the reason why I knew, okay, hands down, I picked the right system in the beginning, and that was the right choice. I'm glad I made that choice. Now, of course, I miss playing games like Killer Instinct. That was one great game I loved on Xbox One, and to this day, I wish I can go back and play it, but I don't have the console. But that doesn't win me enough to buy to own the console. And that's the biggest point is, I can sit here and say that PS5 is going to win me 100%, but they may fuck up like they did with PS3 and do a lot of fuck ups as far as like the overpricing of it, or make it to where we don't have the online party chat, or do something majorly bad, kind of like Xbox One did, where they were like, oh, there's no way you can actually you have to be online to play your games. And I was like, ooh, that was already a bad mistake you did there. But at the same time, they had their backwards compatibility, which was a bonus, but it didn't sell me enough because I'm not looking to play my old games. I'm looking to play new games. And that's what it comes down to, hands down, is what's going to fit me best in the next generation. And I hate to say that the friends thing does kind of hurt, because it does mean I lose friends in that. But I also have to think in the bigger picture. If I get this console and then I hate myself because I wish I would have bought the other console because it has something that I could really use to further my life and happiness, then I'm gonna kick myself, and I don't want to do that. Does that make sense?
You're way. It makes 100% sense, but that's way too political of a reasoning to do it. Like, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation just because I want a PlayStation. He's gonna buy a PlayStation just because he's not gonna buy an Xbox, no matter what.
I've bought two Xbox 3 I've bought two of them before, so it's not that I'm not gonna buy one. Yeah. It's just, what system am I gonna play? It's gonna be PlayStation, man. The thing about PlayStation that is a lot better to me is they're innovative. They have that Nintendo in them, where they do things that Xbox doesn't, and that's just the moral of the story, man. I want to go along for that ride where I'm going to experience things like share play and the VR. Xbox doesn't do stuff like that, man. What is their big thing that they've done this last generation? It's things like cross-platform between Xbox and PC. They've done backwards whatever, and that's about it. They haven't really done anything else.
Right, but that's my whole point. That's exactly why PS4 won me over no matter what. That's my whole point. Like if PlayStation 5, they said, you know what, this is a powerful system, but I go over there and it's still, and like they drop share play, or for example, let's say that the OBS thing you were talking about. What if Microsoft is the one that gets the OBS and now has this more powerful, more friendlier, we're going to give you more options for streamers so you can make it big. But Sony's like, we're not going to do that. We're just going to focus on the games. Well, at the same point, that's another feature that the Microsoft is offering that Sony isn't, and that's going to make a big deal. Just like what PS4 offered way more. Their party chats were better. They had the share play. When they first announced that share play, I was like, "Fuck Microsoft, you're an idiot for not introducing that." And then of course there was the same thing of like streaming and everything that they allowed in there. The recording of the videos, everything that they added for the PS4, hands down made it better. And that's why I can't wait to see what PS5's got to offer, because Sony is, in my eyes, is a superior company to Microsoft. But at the same time, like I said, it's just like the whole Nintendo thing. I wanted a Switch, but I knew I wasn't gonna sell my PS4 to get a Switch, because Switch was not gonna hold me all the time.
Yeah, you can't even stream off of a Switch. So
exactly, that's my whole point. That the Sony at this point has me, but I don't want to say 100%, because
I get that. I get
yeah.
that. But again, just like John said, I don't even believe that. I know for a fact that if Xbox came out and they had an OBS, that you would still just go with your PlayStation. And I know that even if they didn't have OBS and Xbox did, I mean, like, you're telling me that you would just say, yeah, fuck it. On my whole Putty Man account with all these games that I've bought, all these trophies, I'm just gonna say fuck it. You say you're going to. I know you're gonna say, yeah, I would do it, but I don't believe that.
Well, that's the thing,
anyway,
though. But let me just stop you. I just got to say this. On my Microsoft account, still to this day, because of my Microsoft account, I had money back then when I was working for T-Mobile and everything. I have probably about 600 digital games on my 360. That half of those went over to Xbox One when I did buy my Xbox One. I was able to download those. I have about 300 to 400 friends on my
I got you. Again,
account.
you don't need to explain all this. Like, I don't. Yeah, I got you. I just don't believe it. Even though you're saying all that, I still just don't believe it.
I would just also like to point out that he meant PlayStation over Xbox, not Sony over Microsoft.
Well, yeah, but you guys know
because Sony is not a good company.
Again, we shouldn't even have that conversation, man, because it's so I don't know. If we're talking about next generation console, it's about who cares what companies do, man? Again, like Microsoft doesn't even really touch the Xbox division of Microsoft, you know what I mean? That has its own CEO, it has its own everyone. Like, it's the same thing with PlayStation and Sony.
Yeah.
That those. Did you hear what's happening anyway? You guys probably both don't know about this, but Sony and Microsoft are working together right now for a new streaming service where you can stream games on. I forget what the technology is called, but they're actually working together now, which is really
why
big.
Not?
Because if Sony and Microsoft are working together, then PlayStation and Xbox might work together.
Right.
So
it's only benefiting themselves to work together.
Yeah, but again, that's Sony and Microsoft. That's not PlayStation, Xbox. I'm saying it could eventually be that. So,
but anyway, what you're gonna get. You're gonna get out of Xbox, the next generation one. If we've seen anything from the Scorpio, it's gonna be so stupidly, insanely powerful, but it's gonna cost a lot of money. Right. What you're gonna get out of the PlayStation is you're gonna get an almost as good quality system that's gonna cater more to the everyday person and the streamers and stuff. And it's gonna have a catalog of games. Yeah. Same with Nintendo. That's what I'll give Nintendo. You're gonna have the portability with Nintendo and the catalog of games. With PlayStation, you're gonna get Last of Us. You're gonna get games like what's the one called where the guys Indiana
Uncharted.
Jones.
You have Uncharted. You also have God of War.
You're gonna get God of War. There's more than that even. Those are 3 of the best games that have come out over the last 4 years, and that you can't even get them on any other system. So it's I
get that 100%.
For me as a casual gamer, there's no longer a point in not having and having an Xbox except for my racing games. That's it, because everything else that's good is on PlayStation anyways.
Yeah,
I could buy NHL on PlayStation. I could buy NBA on PlayStation.
Right, and see, the thing is, I agree, because the thing is, the IPs that they do actually own were never even made by them. Halo, they own Halo. That was made by Bungie. Bungie moved on, sold Gears of War. Yeah. Epic owned it, sold it to Microsoft, moved on, made Fortnite. And it's they actually I feel like they did better when they moved on. Well, outside of Bungie. I think Bungie actually did worse when they left Halo. But my point, the whole thing is they've never been able to make their own IPs. They're always having to sell other IP or buy other IPs.
Yeah, they're buying other IPs and they're fucking them up. That's what Microsoft does best. Anyway, I know. And moral of the story: the only thing that they actually made was Forza. That's the only IP that they've actually made.
Let's talk about the biggest screw up they ever did, and the biggest also at the same time. One. Obviously, it's not the biggest. One of that Nintendo made, letting losing the rights to making Banjo-Kazooie games, and then that stupid game that came out on the Xbox that was so bad. Like, Banjo-Kazooie is like a beloved IP that we're never gonna see another game from ever again.
Right.
Isn't that like crazy? And,
Well,
and
not
like,
really.
well,
Not
like
really.
Conkers too. We're never gonna
no.
see Conkers again.
People don't realize how big Rare was, and then with Microsoft acquisitioning it and not doing it properly, we lose it all. For example, Rare made Killer Instinct, great game when it came out. It fought against Mortal Kombat. It even stood the test of times until Rare fell off the map. They had freaking Battletoads. They had like you said, Conquered Bad Fur Day. They had all these great IPs that they were making money through Nintendo and even later consoles. But once Microsoft took it, they didn't have no idea to work with it. And don't get me wrong, I like the Killer Instinct on Xbox One. I still think it's a great game, but compared to the old game, it will never compare. It will never compare. And that's the point. We do lose that, and I feel like every single time Microsoft does buy an IP, they screw it up. So I'm not commending Microsoft at all for what they've done recently or are going to do in the future. I just want to make sure to put my point across that in the past, I've actually given new companies a try, and they have learned by their mistakes in the past and made new good things, and then fucked up as well. And Sony's done that as well. You know what I mean? Sony's fucked up as past as well.
Yeah, PS3 is definitely Sony's fuck up, the only fuck up.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, PS3 still had a fighting chance against the Xbox 360. That generation in general was just bad for gamers. But I mean, PlayStation 3 definitely lost it. But I mean, like I said, they were still had a fighting chance, right? Every other console they've ever released has been a masterpiece for its time, man. PS4 is so innovative, PS2 was so innovative, and PS1 was so innovative.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Sony
2
actually had a huge loss with PS3, huge, and they put a lot of money into it. You know what I mean? Because around that same time, you got to remember, in the PS3, that is also when they got that big hack in a whole month of no PlayStation Network. PS3 was as their one point in their time that they go, we can't go back and have that happen again. Ever again, and I don't think it ever will happen again.
Yeah,
You
I
know
get
what
it, 100%.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the console or the generation,
No,
or
no,
whatever,
that's my whole point. That's my whole point of the thing. Sony has done one fuck up. I feel at this point Microsoft had one fuck up because in my eyes, the first Xbox and the Xbox 360 were both stellar consoles, but Xbox One is a shitty console, and I feel like right now it could be their PS3.
I definitely don't think it's shitty. I think it's just they really, really fucked up with E3, and that's why Sony's not going to E3 this year.
It has nothing to do with E3, but I agree with you.
Yes, 100%.
They went in the wrong direction.
No, at E3 they announced, and this is what got them a lot of bad publicity. And Sony literally fed off of this. They said we're not creating a gaming console. We're creating an entertainment console.
Okay,
and after that, let me finish. Sorry. After that happened, basically Sony just ran with it, and they literally made a video saying we're a gaming console. You know what I mean? So
cool, but that's amazing. Me as an Xbox person, do you think that had any relevance to me? I was like, okay, I'm buying
John, that literally killed. There's
not one Xbox guy or girl was like, I'm not buying one now because of that. Not one. All it did was fuel the trolls.
You're talking to one in the party right now.
Exactly. You're talking to one right now. I own both Xbox consoles, and because of what they did with Xbox One, I literally did not buy one and move back to PS4 and put more time into Sony PlayStation 4 than I did.
You're not buying it because they're trying to show its other capabilities. To me, doesn't even make them look bad. That makes you look bad. Like,
oh, John, literally.
You guys got so confused that they were trying to show you everything else the console could do.
No, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say. You're getting a little bit too angry, first of all. And second of all, have you ever plugged your cable cord into your Xbox?
I don't know what that means.
That's what the whole point was. They said we're making an entertainment console. You can watch TV while you're playing video games. Have you ever done it?
No,
have you done it?
That's not the point. The point is that didn't make me not want to buy the system. It wasn't them saying, hey, your system could do all these other things. I wasn't like, yeah, I don't want it anymore.
My whole point is that was a fuck up. If we're talking about fuck ups that
companies I agree. And that system
from a marketing standpoint was
their
a bad
marketing
idea.
Wasn't the bad idea for me. The system in general, doing those things was not a good idea. Not saying those things. Just the fact that it does those was the not good idea. Not the fact that they said it. Yeah, for me,
That's
For
part
me,
of our.
you're looking at the big three, okay? So you have Super Nintendo, which obviously Nintendo had other successes, but it's Super Nintendo for sure. It's a PlayStation 2 for sure, and it's Xbox 360 for sure. And then like they all had their three huge mistakes, which was definitely the GameCube's capabilities, not the GameCube, because the GameCube is a good system. The way that they made it, instead of powering it up from the N64, they took the route of just making it gimmicky and running with it. You have the PlayStation 3 with all of its like internal issues, and then the Xbox One with the fact that it's a VCR that's bigger than my TV, and it doesn't have any games for it.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Let's just get off that topic anyway. Putty, what do you think? What would you say your top three consoles are? Quick.
Top three consoles. Okay, and now we're not basing. Okay, we're basing this off of the time, right? Okay.
Just,
Well, anyway.
no, what's your top three consoles? Period.
Okay.
What
All right.
What are your favorite consoles?
Okay. So top three. Number three will be actually the original Xbox for me. Top number two would be actually the PS4. I love my PS4 to the day I die, but it does not get number one spot for me. The number one spot for me will always be the Sega Dreamcast. I feel the Dreamcast was ahead of its time, and it would be still number one in my eyes because of what it did, and it just didn't. It didn't
All
get
right.
enough people see it.
That's fair. I like that. I can agree with that. And mine's kind of similar. For me, I would go number one PS4. I know a lot of you guys, or John, you're probably gonna be like, your number one's an older system, but the system that I had the most fun off of and basically built my career and what I'm doing now is the PlayStation 4. And then nothing's gonna change that. Number two will be an oldie. I'll go the N64. 100%. That's my second favorite console. So many good games, so many good memories. Like there's game I could just name games for days on how many good games came from the N64 that I freaking loved. And then number three, I would go with the original Xbox. Yeah, the reason I would only put the original Xbox as number three is because I feel like Xbox does deserve it because that system was really good for its time. I remember listening to music, playing Tony Hawk, burning CDs, like it was just crazy. John, what did you say your three were again?
Well, this is pretty simple. Number three is the first PlayStation. Why? Because of its durability to do anything. The fact that it has probably like the biggest game library in the history of video gaming, and you can literally mod it by like just jabbing at it with a stick, and then you can play whatever you want for free. Like that system changed my life for the fact that I could buy whatever I wanted from then on. Like for $10, you could go buy 20 games, and you could play 20 games for a week, and then go buy 20 more games the next weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely 100%. That's a big reason why PS1 was sold so high.
So that's number one. Number two is Super Nintendo. Like Super Nintendo just changed the entire path of gaming forever. I mean, like it's not.
Didn't it almost kill it too?
No.
No, what almost killed the gaming would be Atari. Atari.
No, like the Virtual Boy or some shit like that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
anyway, Super Nintendo, it's similar to the Sega, but the library of games for it was much better. So that's kind of like your Xbox and PlayStation battle right there. Like Genesis had the better capabilities, but they didn't have the games. And anyways, number one is easily PlayStation 2. It's the greatest system ever made. It has just as many games as PlayStation. I literally remember